Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. It was in January 2012 that the Supreme Court passed a resounding judgment in the case of Vodafone. The Supreme Court held that the $11 billion overseas transaction by which Vodafone acquired the India Telecom business and assets from Hutchison was not liable to be taxed in India. The Supreme Court then cancelled the demand of over 8,000 crores, which was levied by the Income Tax Department on Vodafone, and it said that this was not recoverable. That demand today has risen to 22,100 crores, and that's because as the demand remains unpaid, the Income Tax Department continues to levy penal interest on a month to month basis, and the demand continues to balloon further. Normally, whenever a case comes to the Supreme Court and it is decided by the Supreme Court, then the case comes to an end. However bitter, however prolonged be the litigation, the top court, the Supreme Court, once it decides, the case comes to a closure. But then, here it was the government of India as a litigant, and it was in no mood to close the case. The government continued its bitter and rancorous attitude down the line through legislation and through litigation, which has continued to follow. It was in March 2012 that the government amended the Income Tax Act from 1462 onwards. It was a retrospective amendment that was applicable with effect from 1462 itself. And this amendment was meant to negate, nullify, and undo the judgment of the Supreme Court in the Vodafone case. The amendment provided that in case there was any overseas transaction and the underlying assets of those transactions were in India, then that transaction will be subjected to tax in India. It was a very unfair and alarming amendment that the government undertook. It undermined the rule of the law, and it also undermined the authority of courts. It was a sheer misuse of power of the government as a lawmaker, because the attitude was that in case a Supreme Court judgment doesn't suit us, then we will amend the law itself, even if this means amending the law retrospectively. In the case of Vodafone, they amended the law with effect from 1/4/1962, and that amendment took place in March 2012. With this amendment coming into place, Vodafone cried foul, and so did many others like Kane, Sanofi, etc. And while Vodafone cried foul, at that time, the BJP, which was in the opposition, also cried foul. Shri Arun Jaitley, who was the then leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, he said that this retrospective amendment of the Income Tax Act amounts to tax terrorism. And he said that it is the biggest threat to India and that he will stop it. The BJP in its 2014 election manifesto said that the UPA government has unleashed tax terror in India, uncertainty in India, which it says has been creating a negative impact on the minds of the business class. The BJP also said that it creates a negative impact on the investment climate of India and that it dents the image of India as an investment destination. To take the case further, once the amendment took place, the government started chasing Vodafone for recovering the demand again. And in April 2014, Vodafone approached the Permanent Court of Arbitration at The Hague, Netherlands, challenging the tax levied on it by virtue of this retrospective tax amendment. Vodafone contended that this tax levied on it amounts to violation of the Netherlands-India Bilateral Investment Treaty. While Vodafone approached the Permanent Court of Arbitration sometime in 2014, the award of the court came in September this year, and the award was in favor of Vodafone. The court said that by retrospectively amending the Income Tax Act and levying tax on Vodafone, India had clearly violated the Netherlands-India Bilateral Investment Treaty. It said that this amendment and this levy of tax was not fair and equitable, and it cancelled the tax demand which was levied on Vodafone by the government of India, and it also awarded costs for this kind of arbitration. If any good sense had prevailed, then in September itself, the government would have accepted the award and it would have put an end to a case which has immensely harmed India's image as an investment destination. It is this kind of tax terror which made India a no-no as far as international investors were concerned, and it also eroded the credibility of the government completely. The government of India became one which can arbitrarily do anything. Its conduct was unpredictable, it was uncertain, and it would do anything to further its own interests, unmindful of any treaties that were signed. Look at it. In 2012, for example, the Supreme Court cancelled the 122 2G telecom licenses that were cancelled. The government of India did not amend the law and undo that judgment of the Supreme Court, which had immensely harmed international investors and they had lost thousands of crores because of it. But when it came to the Vodafone judgment, the government very quickly, without thinking, amended the act and it levied tax on Vodafone. Thus, the government's conduct had been clearly arbitrary. It was unpredictable, it was uncertain, and for international investors, India had become a clear no-no. India had earned a bad name in the process. In September 20, the PCA award, when it came, the government's response was guarded, it was cautious, and it said that it is studying the award, it is seeking advice, and it will then decide its course of action. To us, it was very clear that the government is not going to accept the award and an appeal against it in courts at Singapore is imminent. And that is just what happened. A couple of days ago, the government has filed an appeal before the Singapore court challenging the arbitration award in the Vodafone case. The government's primary contention is that an international award cannot dilute or reduce its sovereign power to levy taxation. It says that it has sovereign powers to levy tax and no private individual can reduce it or dilute it. It also says that the Permanent Court of Arbitration does not have the right to decide these kind of cases. According to it, it does not fall within the domain and jurisdiction of the Bilateral Investment Treaty and also the PCA at The Hague. In our opinion, by not accepting this arbitration award and choosing to go in appeal against it in a Singapore court, there are certain larger issues which have been ignored. And what are they? We think they are extremely important. The first is that while nobody challenges India's sovereign right to levy tax in India, nobody can challenge this right of the government of India. What is being questioned is an unfair and arbitrary exercise of that power. You cannot amend the act retrospectively in this manner only to undo a Supreme Court judgment and levy taxes. That is what is in dispute. That is what is in arbitration. The right of the government is not an arbitration, but an illegal and unfair exercise of the right is what is being challenged. The second is the Vodafone case and now the Kane Energy case. They have been huge legal and PR blunders for India. They have hit India's image as an investment destination. The BJP accepts it, Shri Arun Jaitley accepted it. And it was important to close this shameful chapter. It was very easy to do that once the arbitration award came. We have missed that opportunity. If we had accepted the award, we would have certainly demonstrated that we are being fair and there was a blunder in the past which we are accepting and closing. It would have reassured international investors we are missing an opportunity by going in appeal. The next, of course, is if India had accepted that this was a blunder and now we need to close it, and it is accepting the International Arbitration Award, it would have certainly strengthened India's efforts in order to become an attractive investment destination. A question mark will always be there in the minds of investors when they come to India, which is, can retrospective amendments take place to the laws and their interests be harmed? We should have accepted the award and moved on further. And finally, while we talk about reforms, one of the biggest reforms that India needs and it has not done is a reform in the mindset of the government and those who govern. We need to reform our mindset. We need to accept that if there is a blunder, we are willing to accept our mistake and go on. And this reform, according to us, is equally important as regulatory and governance reforms are. We think India would have sent a good signal, a very healthy signal to international investors if it had accepted that yes, a blunder took place, we are accepting and closing it. To us, by not accepting the award, we are showing a huge gap between what the government speaks and what the government does. The Prime Minister, the BJP, the Finance Minister, late Shri Arun Jaitley had all accepted that retrospective levy of taxes is not correct. and that they would look into it, that they would undo it, and that has not been done. We have gone an appeal, and in doing that, we have just said that there is a gap, and the gap will remain between what the government promises and what finally takes place on the ground, and that does not add to the government's credibility in any measure. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here, you can be our supporter by paying Rs 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying Rs 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our Super Supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.